Almost cut my weenus.
What did he say?
Alright, well, we're hanging out in the shop today. Today's episode is going to be probably another short, sweet one. I keep saying short, sweet ones, and they end up being like 17 minutes long, so definition of short and sweet, and they're not sweet and they're not short. I'm just an idiot. Yeah, like I said, we're messing around, doing some stuff on this wonderful thing that's hiding in here. I need to finish the bodywork on this car. This thing has just turned into such more of an ordeal than I had initially planned on it, and yeah, my usual, oh, it's gonna be a quick flip has turned into what you see before you. I have parts everywhere. I have stuff just, I mean, it's just a fiasco in here. I have got a bunch of this killed. This bodywork is just, I don't know, it's taking it out of me. I did, off camera, and I think I've actually shown this just a little bit, knock the driver's side out. The driver's side finally is done. It is strong again. Made a huge mess on the ground, and like I said, it's not perfect. It's a little high, actually right about where the blend is, but that's cool because we have a body line here. If you know darts, there's actually a secondary body line that runs through here, and they actually tried to hide it with Bondo before. Now I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do the opposite, and I'm going to use that body line to crisp everything up. So basically right there, down, and I'm just gonna the whole way across. Like I said, the rear valence is on the front because I've been using it on and off 1,000 times to check the straightness back here, but this looking good, everything all great. I need to come through and need to seam seal, and I'll probably add a couple more tacks to that, seam seal the inside. But we walk across over here, and yeah, a little bit missing in this location, if you see what I mean. And by a little bit, stepping out, using some of the real estate I have outside of the garage to, yeah, I had to chop out. Wait, no, the whole inside. Basically left the outside edge of the rocker as, I don't know, a template, my installation guide, I don't know. This car has been hit at some point on this side, probably decades ago. I would say late 80s, early 90s, in the style of, if I can squeeze down here, this is the inner panel that we cut out. It's literally cheese paper. Yeah, Swiss cheese paper is what we're gonna call it. This was the outer panel, and the outer panel is the one that I say was done in the late 80s, early 90s fashion of, hey Barry, cover that with Bondo. Look how thick that is. We're solid 3/8 of an inch on this side. So now that all of that is chopped out of there, we're gonna be using the wrong panels to make the right repairs. Like I said, these are duster panels, and they do not fit the back of a dart. But we're gonna make that happen. How? I'm not quite sure, but for once I'm gonna take you through the process. So let's start cutting, let's start grinding, let's start welding, and let's fix the back of this car so we can fix the rest and paint this damn thing. Average Joe builds. Rust repair with the wrong parts. Dirt, grinding dust, trash, everywhere you look. But basically, like I said, yeah, take 2-3 minutes. That was a 21-minute time lapse to get all of the Bondo off of there. I'm gonna put a picture in of what this back corner looked like. Easily 1/2 inch thick. And I found a brick. I'm not kidding. This is red. This is red cinder brick, like from a chimney. Yeah. But gotta love it. Gotta love old repairs. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, toss in a bolt, a couple screws. I don't know. That might be a good nut and bolt still. Who knows? 3/8 for sure. I'll just keep that over there. But yeah, like I said, I'm not using the right stuff to do this. Normally, when I worked at a hot rod shop, I'd be sitting here with my welder when I go through and do these next few steps, and every tack weld would get an immediate cool off with air. There'd be 1,000 more steps I'm gonna take, and I'm not gonna do any of those on this. I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna lightly wire brush a bunch of this and clean it all up, and then we're going to cut this we're gonna cut this duster panel and make it fit as the backer of that. How? I'm not sure. We'll find that out together. But my battery's about to die, so I gotta go change it. All right, can I go ahead and get you guys down on my level a little bit more here. Make things a little easier. So, like I said, we're taking the lack of space that we have, and the lack of parts that we have, the lack of metal that we have, and we're making it all work somehow. To start this whole procedure is a flat piece of metal. Insert 70 to 76 duster quarter panel. This should be up here. We're not going to use that. We'll go ahead and listen to the dogs bark. Get some of the dust off this thing. Go with this side. I already marked this for a different piece, but what I'm going to do here is literally rough this thing in. I wonder if I flip it. Yeah, I like that better. So take this, and we're gonna trace out our shape. And make it big. Somewhere. Let's see. What's like that? What's like this? What's like that? Clears. All right, with the usual dying from dust here. I know everybody's like, you need to wear a respirator. Yeah, I do actually need to wear a respirator because that, I know it's all just down there, but yeah, so don't finalize this yet. You know, don't look at this with judgment is what I'm saying. Because obviously we need to go through, and this is gonna be actually behind this outer skin, because what this is tying this in together. So I'm gonna have to go through and I'll use this upper lip here to trace the inside, get that all finalized there. And where that ties in, like I was saying, is from, we'll push back from the trunk floor, it comes down and it ties actually the inner skin together. Oh, running the microphone fluffy into it, because it's hard to see, actually, if I zoom in here, there's 2 layers of metal right there. And I know a perfect, proper job, I would have went through and I would have popped, oh, zoom you back out. I would have popped, let's see, focus on this. There we go. I would have popped all these spot welds all the way down, and I would have pulled this inner layer out, leaving just the outer layer. I'm not going for a perfect restoration here. We know that because the car is not perfect. Plus, it's not like it's a factory 344 speed car or anything like that. I think it's a factory swinger by the title, badges, trim, etc., but it was a 615 horsepower 3 on the tree car. I mean, now it's a 318 4-speed car, but it still has a scamp front end. I hate the scamp front end. I need to get a dart front end, and I mean, it's just not perfect. But as long as I can replicate this result on this side to that side, I'll be happier than a clam. Coming in here, you can, I mean, here, I'll have to use my phone, I just realized, because I'm an idiot and don't have adequate lighting out here just yet. But I mean, besides that little blend line, which I haven't gone through and ground or seam sealed or anything, ooh, do have a little bit of light showing through, so I gotta get one more tack weld. But yeah, the plan is grind this all a bit and just re-bedline this whole wall. Same obviously with this one, and you'll never even know that any of that was there. So with that, we're gonna now jump back on that side. It's gonna be more time-lapsey because no one really cares. This part is the tedious, repetitive part. You start on one corner, you go to the other corner, tack, 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 tack. Like I said, if I was doing a perfect restoration like I was trying to do at an old hot rod shop I used to work at, I would sit here with an air gun attached to an airline. Every tack would get immediately cooled to try to help with distortion and warping, etc. All I care about is adding metal back in here and it looking like, actually I'll put a picture in right here of what a factory dart body line looks like. I literally have this on my phone so I can continuously reference off of this, but as long as I can get it to look somewhat like that, and if you look, his back tail panel doesn't fit as good as I would have expected. Mine fits better than that using dart parts, but it's a Rambletron now. So let's get this cleaned up, let's get this marked out, chopped, start welding, and then we get to dive into the outside panel, which is actually the worst one. Alright, I'm taking a second to breathe, to just, yeah, this is close. I always remember, yeah, that's what I meant to say. I never remember. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Time-lapse, lots of B-rolly crapness. Yay. Okay, so actually, I'm gonna test the theory. And even though there's no bolts holding that corner together whatsoever, should retain some sort of body shape. I got metal everywhere, I got grinding dust everywhere, but check it out. I haven't ground anything down, I haven't primed anything or sealed anything. This will all get a once over real quick. We'll go through with the actual flaps disc. We'll get a nice clean edge across that down there. But, yeah, welding this. Let's see if it wants to zoom in at all. And it's not gonna focus. Welding that rust, oh, there we go. That was the worst thing in the world, because that's just paper. There's just cheese paper. Did not weld this seam, I just tacked it in a bunch of spots, because now I have to zoom it back. I don't want to add any thickness, so the reason I ground this really, really below level, and then these corners here, and then any of the tacks I ground out, I don't want this panel here to be on top of this. I want it to sit about an 1/8 inch into, I would just want it to sit flat. But it's hard to explain. You don't want an overlap because then you have to deal with that. You don't want it to be too tight because then you can't really fill this line up with a nice weld. You want about an 1/8 inch 16th gap all the way around your panel so it essentially floats, and then you tack it in place, and a whole bunch of tacks, a whole bunch of blending, little skim filler like I said the other side. But the main thing is, look at that, I can't wiggle any of this. Check that out. Like I said, the body line looks like crap, but that's because I have no bolts in it. And I'm happier with this body line than I said that picture, which I'll throw right here again. Maybe he doesn't have bolts in his bottom one or something, or it broke, or I don't know, but I'm stoked on this. Gotta obviously do a whole bunch more tacks, whole bunch more blending, but the main thing is now we can take this panel and start to test fit this guy up into place, and we'll end up something. Oh yeah, I gotta cut this back 90 off because we don't need the 90 here. Oh, funny enough, I have, I don't know if you guys are gonna see that, a line and Sharpie. So all that stuff, but before I can do any of that, I need to go get a soda or something because I'm parched and I'm not having fun. This is just, it's not what I wanted to do, to be completely honest. And then there's a couple little odds and ends I found. They cut the inner fenders. This one they didn't do such a bad job, but it split the seam, so I'm gonna go through and tack it. And I need to tack it anyways because there's a slight rust hole right there. But on the other side, I'll show you guys. Get up, oh my legs, oh my back, oh my everything. But on this side, I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see this, the seam actually split. And so where it's split, I gotta go through and tack it, but there's still a whole bunch of body work on the sides that I gotta do. I got more or less the cowl done, the roof done, and I got the edges and upper parts to where the sharp body line is done. That's all done. A little, I might 400 grit this one more time, but once I can get all this damn dust off everything, we'll be back into good shape. But before I can do any of that, I need to finish this other side. So tacks, grinds, blends, primers, and then I'll see you guys in just a few minutes for the outside panel and finishing that up. Rust repair with the wrong tools. It's not so bad. You just Texas TIG and make a mess. Oh, I hate this. Okay, now let's see if I can be a halfway decent YouTuber for the first time ever in 3 years of YouTubing. So we have the inside tacked, tons of grinding. I douched it in some rust, what is this, rust reformer? I always say rust preformer, I don't know why. Rust reformer from Rust-Oleum. Douched the inside, the outside. Majority of it, I'd say 80% is welded out. The rest, there's a couple little spots I don't want to try to weld because of how soft the existing stuff is, so I'm gonna end up seam sealing it. This will be the structure on the outside. The seam seal is literally just gonna be to keep the water out. And now again, it's not exactly perfect. Somebody, Chip Goose's uncle Hector is gonna, you know, comment in the comments and be like, hey dude, what the hell, you ruined this car, blah blah blah. You know how close this car was to go into a scrapyard and the drivetrain getting pulled out? Pretty sure I saved it. If not between me and Jamie from Dead Dodge Garage, we kept this car on the road, and I'm glad it's getting another chance at life. So take this, we got it most of the way fit up, but like I was saying, I like a nice gap. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get my gap roughed in, like something like this, if I can, and side out, like that. Ooh.
And what do? We end up looking like a monkey fucking a football out there.
$2,000 years later.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm half dead here. I'm pretty sure this thing is kicking my butt. I'm happy though to say, I mean, there's a quarter panel. This sucks. Trust me, I know. You don't gotta tell me this sucks. I was not stoked on this. I shouldn't have left this lip, the existing lip that I was using for the structure. I understand. I was trying to keep the shape exactly the way I wanted it to, and it came out. I mean, I know I'll be able to blend all this, which we'll see in just a little bit. Just that lip was Swiss cheese. There was no metal left. So yeah, this would take my tack, but anytime I try to transfer my tack over, it just dissolved. So I literally would tack and tack and tack. It's not gonna focus on that. Oh, it did. I would just sit there and tack and tack and tack and tack and watch the rust dissolve and then try to tack onto that and tack onto that and tack onto that. That's all not so bad. And I'm actually really stoked on how this body line is right now. There's no bolts. Oh wait, can I get? Yeah, look at that. There's no bolts in that to suck it up right now, and I haven't ground any of it. And it's so much better than the crashed body line was. It's not over a 1/4 inch thick with Bondo either, so probably gonna time lapse just a little bit of the grinding, but you guys aren't gonna care about that because it is literal flap disc. Check with the little Scotch-Brite pads, flap disc Scotch-Brite, add a little tack here and there, and just over and over and over. So I'm gonna let SpongeBob give me a transition somewhere in the middle, but thank you, Spongy. I'm stoked. It's not perfect, like I said, it's not, you know, nowhere near perfect. But for the girls I date, one little tack here, a couple little more tacks and grinds, and see you guys shortly. And again, after some grinding, some blending, some figuring out which way turns off the tank on the, I don't remember why, always righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, just can't remember that. But I threw the 2 bolts that I have to hold the rear valence on. Yeah, I still need to bodywork the rear valence entirely, which I just keep forgetting about. But we're gonna check out the side that I already did first, obviously. Then, let's see if I can sit down and get this lined up. No, it doesn't look terrible. I know looking back at this side, it doesn't look great. But like I said, no bolts. If I push this in with my finger, everything lines up way better. And I just can't push and hold it because there's supposed to be a bolt here. There's supposed to be a bolt like right there. I have no bolts in there. So we come to this side. So obviously it's supposed to be a bolt here, here. I only have one there and one there. So when we come to the side we just did, actually from the inside, looking at it, it's not terrible. Like I said, I gotta go through, blend all that, which I'll just give it a quick, I'll hit it at an angle with the flap disc, and then, like I said, bedline the whole inner. all the way up. All the way up. Might even come through here and add a little, can't see what I'm trying to film. Well, try and bedline a little of this corner that I did from the inner side. But like I said, from the bottom, we'll come up and seam seal all through there. Might even seam seal through there. But I did add a couple tacks to reattach the 90 after I busted it apart to realign everything. Doing a whole bunch of this and I don't know what to do with my hands. Ricky Bobby. But I don't know about you guys. I am, like I said, there's no hardware. So with a bolt tucking all this in and sucking that up, I might even, I'll skim fill that obviously. And then this will all get skim filled across too. But that is a quarter panel. I am so happy. Even though this was way uglier than I thought it was gonna be, it turned out great. Like I said, this inside lip was so bad, it fought me, but that's nothing a skim won't hide. I mean, look at that. That's a whole, let's get over here, see it from this side too. That's a whole quarter panel for a dart. Well, actually, it's for a duster on a dart. Still can't believe I hacked up just the insides of some duster quarter panel replacements. I mean, it doesn't even still say right here. Yeah, if you see quarter panel, oh, does it want to focus? Let's see if I can get it to focus on this. Yeah, there we go. Quarter panel lower, and it's 70 to 76. And it said dart duster. But it was a duster, definitely. Even though it's now on my dart. But with that, I'm rambling. I'm tired. I have the world's largest mess to clean up. And I gotta get ready for the next video because I'm trying to do more content. It's not gonna be the best content, but it's probably not gonna be the worst content either. Just trying to be a YouTuber for once. I have steering components, I have wheel cylinders. The dart is almost ready to drive once we finish these last little odds and ends of bodyworks. And then, like I said, I got parts for the wife's truck. I got parts lining under the table for Blue and so much more. But with that, if you haven't already, leave me a comment down below telling me I'm not Chip Foose. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you have not already. We're so close to 2,000. And for once, I'm gonna stick to my guns and I'm gonna do a little something for you guys at 2,000 subscribers. So with that, I'm gonna let you guys go and start cleaning up before I go in and have some dinner and enjoy my night. It's Sunday. Beginning of the week starts tomorrow, so yay. Hopefully you guys don't hate your Monday as much as I probably will. With that, now it's a ramble. Average Joe Builds. I'll see you guys on the next one.